Our final presenter for the final round of New Beverage Showdown 24 is Kevin Kreider, who is the founder and CEO of SANS. Come on up. How are you?
I'm Kevin Kreider. I'm the founder and CEO of SANS, and we are a conversational beverage. In coming up in December 13th, I'm about to celebrate 7 years of sobriety. I'm in a 12-step program. Thank you. And before I got sober, my life was full of anxiety. I was depressed, I was anxious. I lost all my hair from alopecia areata, stress-induced hair loss. Even got kicked out of my dad's home. And once I got sober, I moved to Los Angeles. I landed a role on a Netflix show called Bling Empire. And it was the first of its kind because it was the first all Asian American reality show on Netflix. And it was so groundbreaking because Asians were very underrepresented in TV and film at the time. And I got to share my story of sobriety. I got to share my drink SANS and what it meant to me and what it'll mean to the community, which is to empower and normalize sobriety in people who don't want to drink. And I also realized then that that was also another underrepresented group. If you look at all TV and media, when you see people who are getting sober or who have an alcohol problem, you only see the rock bottom, and they just go to recovery. You don't see that they can live a cool, sexy, sober life. And that's what I wanted to change. I wanted to change that. So I want to make sobriety sexy, healthy, and sophisticated. And no, that is not my link to OnlyFans. But that's what I want to do with SANS. It's the conversational beverage. So what makes us very unique, though, is that I come from an exercise science degree background, professional bodybuilding for years, so I know what goes into supplements. And what I wanted to do was give the consumer exactly what I promised them. So we infused it with the best adaptogens I could think of and see in the market. So we have an effective dosage of ginseng and L-theanine, which will also help calm the mind and body. We also are one of the lowest in the market right now for our categories as well. We don't use any proprietary blends, so you know the amount of ingredients that are actually going into it. We also we taste really good too. I think that's a really important thing. We also have a community. The sober community, when I shared my sobriety story, the response was overwhelming. They just said thank you. And then this is for people that they knew that needed to get sober too, or too were embarrassed about it because it wasn't seen as cool, sexy, and fun. So that's what we're doing with SANS. We also are Asian-themed flavors. So that's where we're going with the Asian culture as well. Right now, we're already in Erewhon food markets. We've only been out for 2 months. So our strategy is to really go really deep in where we are right now, which is in California, and then start going nationwide 2023. But the way we can do that in nationwide is we have a unique partnership opportunity with a company called Botrista Technology. So they're a robotics company that dispenses handcrafted drinks into hundreds of restaurants nationwide. And we're working out a partnership deal with them where we can put SANS into that and go nationwide with that. And why, this guy's in reality TV, right? What's he doing being a CEO and founder of a beverage company? Go back in acting, right? Well, I hear you. That's why I got a great team. My co-packaging partners are Langer's Juice Company. They're also investors in the company. And a lot of our advisors have started companies like energy drinks from $0 to $35 million in revenue in less than 7 years. So I picked some really good people on this team. Now I want to ask the audience one question. Who here has been affected by somebody who has alcoholism or alcohol problems or any type of addiction? Raise your hand, please. Or if you know of somebody. Well, this product is for you. And it's for you to help. It's for you because this product will help them realize that being sober can be fun, sexy, and cool. So, will you help me to help others to become a part of the buzz without the booze? And I want to hear the gong. Thank you.
You had 30 seconds left, Kevin. You
I
didn't
know, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but well done.
We could do the gong again.
No gong. Well, hold on. But well done. Dan, seeing a lot more sort of alternative products come to market. What do you think of Kevin's approach of making sobriety sexy and fun?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest opportunities that we see at BevNet in doing this is actually getting to listen to founders like yourself and tell their story. You know, if you work in a major corporation, you don't hear much stories about where brands come from. So it was really wonderful to hear your story. So thanks for sharing that. I think the idea around there's a big question about what happens in the low to no alc or non-alcoholic ready to drink mixer kind of sober curious category that I think it's still developing. And I think that there's a piece of your brand that is kind of even more curious to me is that you've added functionality into a beverage that didn't need functionality. If its positioning was to be, a sober, curious beverage, how do you think about that? And do you actually think that you could take a pivot and bring the brand even to more people without just that as a narrow objective?
Absolutely. So I consider some of these functional ingredients more about recovery. So they help heal the body and mind as well, not just give you a little boost of energy. That's what L-theanine and ginseng does. So we like to consider ourselves more of like a lifestyle, mental health brand. People who are in mental health recovery programs. We're not just sober as well, because that's my story. But I just want people to be more mentally healthy and more mentally health conscious. So we are going to be more of a lifestyle brand in that sense.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. The idea of an iconic and less functional and beverage in that space is wonderful. I commend you on I think it's got a really nice minimalist design that works well on the shelf as well.
Thank you.
Cassie, Kevin talked about their co-packer, SANS co-packers' involvement in the brand. Does that give you any indication as to how to assess this brand, or does it give you any interest, or do you evaluate it in a different way because you know that now?
Co-packers, one, it just gives me anxiety hearing that right now in the supply situation that I've been in some categories. But I would say we need our co-packers, right? And you having that built and that base lets me know you're going to have product, and I think that's important. But I think back to Dan's point, we're still trying to figure this category out. And what I respect the most, and I love that you touched on it, is your intention to get an off-premise. To me, the way to create this category in retail, and I really believe in this category, it's off-premise. And I think you attack that off-premise business, because the second people were carrying a White Claw in the bar, I had to have it in every Kroger store. The second I see SANS at the bar and it's being accepted by that Genzennial, I'm gonna want it in all my stores. So I would just say, keep your effort focused on that off-premise business. I think that's very, very smart.
Chuck, Cassie's big on this category of low and no alc beverages. Are you?
We're getting a lot of samples shipped to our office every day. It's definitely growing from the founder space. And we just started slinging a couple non-alcoholic beers and stuff like that. So it's very new to us. We probably only have 2-3 brands in our portfolio. One comment about the brand I would make is, I think one thing if you want to be popular off-premise is, for me, you're doing a brand that's doing something better than alcohol, right? And so for some reason, I'm like thinking SANS without, and I'm thinking like you guys should be above everybody else getting drunk in there. So I don't, just some food for thought.
So our new slogan is, we're better than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Great,
Totally.
done.
I like
Be
it.
on the label tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to want to be cool. Like if you're not going to be drinking, you got to be holding something cool off premise to even blend in or not to call attention to it or something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're better than you, and then just use those model photos that you had of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll go well.
John, you get the last word of the competition. What are your thoughts on the packaging and the flavor of SANS?
Yeah, well, I want to expand on what Chuck said there. I mean, I totally agree, and I think, I was sort of looking at it similarly, where it sort of presented as like, this have-not product, and, honestly, I picked it up, I saw 0% alcohol on there, and I'm kind of like, all right, like this isn't going to taste good. It tastes great. So, I guess I see all of this, and, just knowing that there's a lot to be developed in this sort of low, no alc space. Like, you've got a drink that, like, you can just pick it up like any time of the day. Like, it doesn't need to be about sobriety and sort of avoiding alcohol. Like, it's just a good, like, functional, like, I think recovery, you know, is sort of a good thing to think about, that you might have a more broad opportunity like right now while that category develops. And again, I mean, I think, you know, done a nice job with the liquid and, you know, the look of the can, and, you know, you've got some good stuff there.
Thank you. We're better than you.
Kevin, you did a great job. Thank you so much. Well done. Oops.